Hi, this is Ben Hart. I'm going to talk to you today about the 17 reasons I do not invest in Ethereum. And frankly, there are many more reasons than this. But I'll just give you the 17 big reasons here. And if you find the information in this video useful, please hit the like button and the notification button. This will really help promote this video with the search algorithms. You should also check out my new book on Bitcoin. It's available on Amazon. And you can follow me on Twitter. Plus, one more thing. You can sign up for my free Bitcoin weekly report by heading over to bitcoininstitute.net. You can find the links to all of this below. And nothing in this video should be taken as investment advice. This is just my perspective. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments below. All right, let's launch off now into the 17 reasons that I do not invest in Ethereum. Ethereum is the number 2 crypto asset out there. It's about half the size of Bitcoin. All other crypto assets and projects out there are tiny by comparison. My usual approach when investing in emerging technologies is to invest in the 2 leaders, on the principle that, in technology, the winner takes most. But we don't usually know who the winner will be. Yahoo used to be the dominant search engine, but Google won that race. Facebook versus MySpace is another one, or Amazon versus eBay. And that's pretty much how it works in tech. So I usually invest in the leaders, but I only invest in one crypto asset, and that's Bitcoin. I do not invest at all in Ethereum. Why not? Well, here are my 17 reasons. Reason number 1. Ethereum's mission is vague. Ethereum is promising to be a product, but it isn't a product yet. Ethereum's creator, Vitalik says he's trying to build a decentralized internet for decentralized applications. More recently, Vitalik has said Ethereum is building a platform for decentralized finance. He's also promoted the idea that Ethereum will be a platform for decentralized autonomous organizations. So that's reason number 1. Ethereum's mission is uncertain and vague. Reason number 2. Ethereum is not trying to be honest money. So Ethereum is not really a competitor to Bitcoin at all, because Ethereum is not trying to be honest money. Ethereum is trying to be a decentralized internet for decentralized applications. Ethereum is in the applications business. It's not trying to be a currency. It does have a currency as part of its ecosystem, but it's not trying to be money. It's not trying to be the world reserve currency, which is the goal of Bitcoin. The big problem with the applications business is applications need to be fast and have a lot of functions and features. Decentralized blockchain technology is terrible for applications. I don't want to have to wait 10 minutes for my email to open or my Microsoft Word document to open. That's what it's like to use Ethereum. I'm looking for Bitcoin to be one thing: honest money. There will never be more than 21 million Bitcoins. Ethereum, by contrast, has no monetary policy. No one even knows how many Ether coins have been issued. There are estimates. I went ahead and tried some of the more popular applications on Ethereum, which tend to be games. I tried 2 of the most popular ones, one called CryptoKitties, another called Axie Infinity. Without getting too much into the detail of these games, my experience with them was horrible, and they were very expensive to play. You can run through $1,000 in no time on these games. The reason is because you have to burn ETH, or gas fees, with every move you make. Or you burn the token for these games, which is bought with ETH. And the animation is primitive. Worse than dial-up internet in 1990, back in the day when AOL arrived in my mailbox on a disk. There's no animation at all in CryptoKitties. There's some animation in Axie Infinity, but not nearly as good as, say, Super Mario or Pokemon in the 1990s. It's nothing like the animation in modern gaming, nothing like Call of Duty. And the reason that the animation on these games is terrible is because they are built on blockchain technology, which is slow and clunky. Blockchain is good for security, but it's terrible for speed. So a blockchain ledger makes sense for financial transactions, but it makes no sense for video games. So with CryptoKitties, the characters that you bid on are inanimate cartoon cats. They look like Garfield.
Now that we have Ethereum, the first thing that we're going to want to do is check out the marketplace. So we're in the marketplace now, and I'm looking through all the kitties. Some are super adorable. I think I'm looking for something specific right now. Oh, hey, look at this cat over here. What are those eyes? This cat's name is Cutie. I am in love with it. I love the color. I love the eyes. I love the mouth. So it's 0.002 Ethereum. I'm going to buy it because I have 0.25 in my wallet right now. So what you're going to want to do is click Buy Now. On the next page, click Buy This Kitty. Now MetaMask is going to pop up with a transaction. Go ahead and click Submit. Once you click Submit, you're going to see the activity page. And here it tells me that I requested to buy Cutesy. So keep in mind the transaction may take some time. It really depends on the Ethereum network.
Then what you try to do is create a new cartoon cat by breeding the cats that you own and that which you bought from somebody at an auction. And what you do is you try to create a new cartoon cat by pressing the breed button. This produces a new cartoon cat. Then if you're able to sell the new cartoon cat for more than you paid for your other cartoon cats, you're a winner. You make money. So the appeal here really is online gambling. And Axie Infinity works the same way. There's some primitive animation with Axie, but it's very expensive to play. You need 3 characters, and the average price for buying one of these characters is about $300, so it costs about $1,000 to start a game of Axie.
If you want to know how to start playing Axie Infinity and you watch this video, you can literally walk through the process with us and you can start playing as well. I'm going to sign this. Cool. Welcome. What should we call you? All right, Nate, what do you want your name to be? Axie King. We have MetaMask set up, so let's go to the marketplace and we have to pick which Axies we are going to buy. So all 3 of our Axie purchases have now gone through. If the owner is Axie King. So yep, you have it here, and then underneath it actually shows the sale history of everything. Yeah. So he's got his crit beast and he has his pure damage bird, which can very magically target the fastest target instead of having to go through. And it will sync your Axies with your account. They will appear. And now we have 3 beautiful level 1 Axies for us to create a team with and battle. So then we'll go over to our teams, hit new team, create our first team. So we got our tank in the front, then we got our beast in the second spot, and we got our bird in the back. We'll move them right there. Save. Team created. Bam, we got our team. And try it out. Have some fun.
And the way you make money on this game is to breed your characters and to sell the product of the breeding process. And then if you can sell your Axie characters for more than you paid for them, you're a big winner. Again, the appeal here is online gambling. Some claim they are making a living by playing these games. I have my doubts. My guess is this is a tall tale made up by the creators of these games to lure in the suckers. The companies that create these games are also not, obviously, decentralized. They're companies with marketing teams. They're trying to make money. I'm not interested in online gambling. And if I want to play video games, I want fast action and super realism, which is not possible to achieve on decentralized blockchain technology. Decentralized blockchain technology is built for security, not for speed. Reason number 4. Ethereum is not secure. On average, about 1 billion per year is stolen by hackers from applications built on Ethereum. Ethereum is vulnerable to hackers, because Ethereum is trying to do too much with smart contracts. So-called smart contracts are okay for simple functions, such as setting up an escrow account, or multi-signature requirement functions, such as when I get a product, the money will be released. Smart contracts can do that, and Bitcoin has that. But complex organizations and financial institutions cannot be run with smart contracts. So this is the idea behind decentralized autonomous organizations that are supposedly being built on Ethereum. But so far, every so-called decentralized autonomous organization built on Ethereum has been a disaster. For example, in 2016, $150 million in venture capital was raised for a company called DAO, for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. That was the name of the company. Hackers drained $50 million from a wallet by exploiting a loophole in the smart contract. So what was Vitalik's solution? Well, he simply reversed the transaction, which demonstrated two things. One, that Ethereum is not secure, and two, that Vitalik can reverse transactions and move money in and out of people's wallets anytime he wants. Reason number 5. Ethereum is not decentralized. Ethereum is under the total control of its creator, Vitalik Buterin, who changes the rules of Ethereum all the time. For example, Ethereum is now transitioning from a proof-of-work consensus model to a proof-of-stake consensus model. The reason Vitalik is changing from a proof-of-work to a proof-of-stake system is Ethereum is not working. With Bitcoin, by contrast, the rules are fixed and constant. Bitcoin is just trying to be one thing: honest money. There will never be more than 21 million Bitcoins. All Bitcoin is a synchronized ledger of transactions distributed to more than 1 million nodes and miners around the globe. That's what makes it decentralized. And the only way the rules of Bitcoin can change is if there's a 95% approval from the 1 million miners and nodes. So Bitcoin is truly decentralized. Bitcoin is not owned or controlled by anyone or by any small group. Bitcoin is simply a ledger. It's operated by an automated software protocol in cyberspace, and it operates on a strict timetable and in accordance with a fixed set of rules. The system is secured by military-grade SHA-256 cryptography that was developed by the National Security Agency. Upgrades and improvements to the Bitcoin software have been approved, but the foundational rules of Bitcoin will never change. The most important rule being there will never be more than 21 million Bitcoins. Ethereum is not trying to be money. Ethereum is trying to be a decentralized internet for decentralized applications. But Ethereum is not at all decentralized, and the applications don't work well at all. Plus, the network is not secure. The reason Ethereum is now transitioning from a proof-of-work system to a proof-of-stake system is because Ethereum, at least so far, has been a total failure. Reason number 6. Ethereum is expensive to use. Right now, a transaction on Bitcoin costs about $2 on average, and are almost free on the Lightning Network. Transaction fees on Ethereum fluctuate between $5 a transaction and $100 a transaction, depending on how busy the network is. Reason number 7. Ethereum has many significant competitors in the applications arena. The applications business is very competitive, and the winner is the one who can create the fastest applications that provide a good user experience. Competitors to Ethereum include Cardano, Solana, Avalanche, and many others. All of these are said to be faster than Ethereum, faster because they're even more centralized. Speed requires centralization. Bitcoin is built for security more than speed. It's fast enough for what it's trying to do. And all it's trying to do is keep track of money transactions. It's not trying to run video games. Reason number 8. More than 50% of Ethereum's supply is owned by the founding group. Now that Ethereum is transitioning from a proof-of-work to a proof-of-stake model, this will put even more power in the hands of Vitalik and a small group of oligarchs, because under the proof-of-stake model, The number of votes that you have is determined by the number of coins that you own. In this sense, Ethereum operates very much like a corporation. So Elon Musk, for example, owns 17% of Tesla's stock. So he effectively controls the company. In Ethereum, owning ETH is more like owning shares in a private corporation. So it's not trying to be money at all. But at least Tesla is auditable. Tesla is a publicly traded company that must operate under rules and laws, and is subject to the oversight of the Securities and Exchange Commission. Tesla releases its financial report publicly every quarter, as all publicly traded corporations have to do. Anyone can read Tesla's financials. And if it's not accurate, the creator of the false financial report might go to prison, or the company can be sued. There's no such accountability or oversight with Ethereum. Ethereum releases no financial statements. Ethereum is an unauditable black box. Ethereum operates under no fixed set of rules. The rules of Ethereum are whatever Vitalik says they are on any given day. So, for example, by transitioning from a proof-of-work model to a proof-of-stake system, Vitalik is wiping out the livelihoods of Ethereum's miners, many of whom have invested a lot of money in their mining equipment, in their computers, as well as years of their lives in Ethereum mining. Now, because Vitalik is changing the rules and he's eliminating the mining function in Ethereum, these miners are on the street. Too bad for them, I guess. And many of them are expressing a lot of anger about this on Twitter. Reason number 9. Ethereum was launched with a massive pre-mine for the founders. The reason Ethereum's founding group owns more than 50% of Ethereum's supply of ETH is because Ethereum launched with a pre-mine before coins were available to the public. Ethereum was launched by Vitalik and 7 other founders in Zug, Switzerland in July of 2014. In a video that Vitalik made at that time, he explained that they chose to launch Ethereum in Switzerland in order to avoid US laws governing securities. Before coins would be available to the public, they awarded 72 million ETH coins to themselves in a pre-mine. After that, Ethereum launched its initial coin offering, which is like an initial public stock offering. At the ICO, the initial coin offering, the launch price for Ethereum was 31 cents a coin. We don't know how many coins the founders scooped up at the opening of the ICO, but the estimates are that this founding group owns upwards of 60% of the ETH in circulation, and maybe more. Before Ethereum's pre-mine, pre-mines were considered red flags, signaling a probable scam. But after the Ethereum pre-mine for the founders, pre-mines became the usual way crypto projects are launched. By contrast, there was no pre-mine for Bitcoin. From the start, anyone could mine for Bitcoin. Plus, the release of new Bitcoins into circulation would happen over time, and in accordance with a set schedule, as outlined in Satoshi Nakamoto's white paper. The final 21 millionth Bitcoin will be mined in the spring of 2140, more than 100 years from now. This lengthy timetable for the release of Bitcoins into circulation helps ensure that wealth and power over the system are not concentrated into the hands of a few people. Reason number 10. Vitalik is the only original founder of Ethereum who stuck with Ethereum. Ethereum was founded in 2014 by Vitalik Buterin, Gavin Wood, Charles Hoskinson, Mihai Alisi, Amir Chetrit, Jeffrey Wilkie, Joseph Lubin, and Anthony D'Iorio. Anthony D'Iorio was the primary financial backer of Ethereum. So it's clear Ethereum was a venture capital project. The goal was for these founders to get rich. Hence the 72 million coin pre-mine for the founders and early managers. But Vitalik was apparently always the decider. Of the 8 founders, only Vitalik remains. Charles Hoskinson quit at the launch gathering in Switzerland in 2014, evidently because of a dispute with Vitalik. Hoskinson then launched a competitor called Cardano. Vitalik fired Amir Chetrit, and he fired Ethereum's primary early financier, Anthony D'Iorio. The rest quit. For me, as an investor, a mass exodus of all the founders except one raises a yellow flag at a minimum. Today, the Ethereum Foundation in Switzerland holds 394,000 ETH coins, value about $700 million at today's ETH price. And Vitalik, of course, runs the Ethereum Foundation, which has 16 employees. $700 million in the bank is quite a lot of money for an organization that has only 16 employees. Vitalik's wallets that we know about contain 325,000 ETH coins. So this means Vitalik has about $600 million at today's ETH price. And he might well have additional wallets that we don't know about. Although structured as a non-profit organization, Ethereum has certainly been very profitable for Vitalik. Nothing at all wrong with making money, nothing at all wrong with profit. But Ethereum was set up as a non-profit foundation and set up offshore so as to escape scrutiny by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. And that's according to Vitalik. Ethereum is not a decentralized system, nor is it a transparent system. All of this is in stark contrast to Bitcoin, which is truly decentralized, fully transparent, and governed by a fixed set of rules with no premine for the founders. In fact, by all accounts, few of the early Bitcoiners have any Bitcoin, or they have very little. Most of them lost their Bitcoin wallet keys because they had no idea what Bitcoin would be worth someday. In 2010, Laszlo Hanyecz bought 2 Papa John's pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoins, when Bitcoin was worth 1/3 of 1 penny. The early Bitcoiners were attracted to Bitcoin because of the idea behind Bitcoin. They liked the idea of a money network independent from the government fiat money printing system and independent from human control. They wanted to create a money system that was governed by math and automated algorithms, not by people. They wanted to separate money from the government. They had no clue that Bitcoin would take off the way it has. Bitcoin began essentially as a lab experiment that a group of computer scientists had been working on for many years. Some of them had been working on this for decades. About 700 of these computer engineers were sharing information openly on this project on a forum that anybody could join. There was no thought among these 700 people on the early Bitcoin mailing list that they might become multimillionaires from this endeavor. They were just interested in the idea of separating money from the state. They wanted to create a decentralized money system that would be governed by math and automated protocols, not by humans, because humans are prone to corruption. Reason number 11. Ethereum has a single point of vulnerability. Vitalik has repeatedly demonstrated that he can do whatever he wants on Ethereum. He can reverse transactions. He can take money out of people's wallets. So all criminals would have to do is kidnap Vitalik and torture him until he gives them all the money they want. Again, this is in stark contrast to Bitcoin. Bitcoin was founded by the pseudonymous Satoshi Nakamoto. We still don't know who Satoshi is or was. He might have been one person, or he might have been a group of software engineers who had been working on the Bitcoin project for many years. Not knowing who invented Bitcoin is one of the world's most intriguing mysteries. But even if we discovered who actually invented Bitcoin, it would not matter, because it requires a 95% consensus of nodes and miners to approve changes to the software or the rules of the network. And since there are more than 1 million nodes and miners distributed around the world, it's not easy to get a 95% consensus to change the rules. There have been upgrades to the software that have won approval from the network, but it's not easy to do, and it takes years. They did, for example, change the maximum block size from 1 weight unit to 4 weight units to speed up transactions. So there's no one who controls the Bitcoin network to kidnap and torture. And even if Satoshi came back onto the scene and they kidnapped and tortured him, there's nothing he could do to change the rules of Bitcoin. And there's no backdoor in the software to make any changes. The software is open source. Anyone can just copy the software code and make changes, try to improve it. And this has happened before. It's called a hard fork. It happened, for example, with Bitcoin Cash. They thought they could create a better version of Bitcoin, a faster version. But if no one follows it, the new blockchain amounts to nothing. The market cap for Bitcoin Cash right now is way less than 1% of Bitcoin. Hardly anyone uses it. And there have been other hard forks in the Bitcoin blockchain, but no one follows them, or very few do. The reason 180 million Bitcoin users stick with Bitcoin is they know it's stable. It's nearly impossible to change. And the only changes that can get 95% approval from the network are changes that are obviously in the best interest of everyone on the network. So Bitcoin is the only truly decentralized money system. Bitcoin is not hosted anywhere. It's not run by anyone. It exists in cyberspace as an immutable protocol. It's an uneditable ledger that is distributed on the computers of more than 1 million miners and nodes around the world. If anyone tries to distribute a fraudulent ledger that is different from the copy that everyone else has, the system would immediately reject it as spam. No one has ever been able to successfully hack Bitcoin's underlying technology. People have lost their private keys, so lost their Bitcoin that way. But no one's been able to crack Bitcoin's underlying technology. Not China, not Russia, no one. No one owns Bitcoin. No one controls Bitcoin. Everyone has equal access to Bitcoin. Anyone can get involved in validating transactions. Anyone can just start mining for Bitcoins. It's very clear to me what Bitcoin is trying to achieve. It's all laid out in Satoshi's 8-page white paper. Bitcoin is just trying to be one thing: honest, immutable money, the fundamental rules of which will never change. Bitcoin is money that can never be corrupted by humans, because no small group of humans controls Bitcoin. Bitcoin just exists. It's immutable, like the sun. We know exactly when the sun will rise on this day 1,000 years from now. That's Bitcoin. Reason number 12. Ethereum keeps changing its mission. At various times, Vitalik has said Ethereum's mission is to build a decentralized internet for decentralized applications. He has also said Ethereum's purpose is to become a decentralized world computer. In recent years, Vitalik has said he wants Ethereum to be a platform for decentralized finance, so-called DeFi. So we would have decentralized insurance, decentralized stock markets, decentralized banking. Well, how's that going? The biggest example of decentralized finance, or DeFi, on Ethereum is a lending platform called MakerDAO, which issues an algorithmic stablecoin called DAI. Stablecoins are supposed to be pegged to the US dollar, or other fiat currency. The largest stablecoins are USDT Tether and USDC, which is issued by a company in Boston called CirclePay. Tether and USDC stablecoins are issued by companies. They don't claim to be decentralized. MakerDAO, built on Ethereum, claims to be decentralized, but it isn't. It was launched with venture capital, a $15 million investment by a firm called Andreessen Horowitz. MakerDAO uses a simple smart contracts protocol. You can borrow up to half of what you've deposited on MakerDAO. So it functions by requiring you to be over-collateralized. If you agree to allow MakerDAO to lend out the money that you've deposited, Maker will pay you an interest rate of around 1.5 or 2%. So MakerDAO operates kind of like a bank. But deposits on MakerDAO are not FDIC insured. So you have to be confident that MakerDAO won't collapse, as have many other crypto lending platforms. Now here's the real kicker. MakerDAO charges upwards of 19% interest to borrow money, which is actually borrowing against your own money that you have on deposit. And it's only paying out about 1.5 or 2% interest on the money that you have on deposit at MakerDAO. But that's not all. MakerDAO was hacked. In August of 2021, criminals used a denial of service attack tactic to steal $8.3 million of collateral on MakerDAO. So MakerDAO is not secure. MakerDAO also charges the highest transaction fees among the top stablecoins, which is why so few people are using MakerDAO. So there's really no purpose for MakerDAO. So the biggest example of decentralized finance built on Ethereum fails on every level. And this is the most successful example of DeFi that's been built on Ethereum so far. If this is success, what would failure look like? Again, about $1 billion a year is hacked and stolen from applications built on Ethereum. There's nothing secure about it. The primary reason it's not secure is that smart contracts that are even minimally complex are very difficult to pull off. It's easy for hackers to exploit loopholes in smart contracts to grab the money. In 2021, a hacker stole $610 million from the Poly network by exploiting a loophole in the smart contract. Then 15 days after the hack, the hacker returned the money with a note saying he just wanted to show how easy it is for criminals to break through smart contracts to grab the money. The Poly network offered to make the hacker Poly's security chief, but there was no response from the hacker. Another hacker stole $625 million in ETH and USDC stablecoins from the creator of the aforementioned Axie Infinity game. The thief did this by exploiting a vulnerability in the smart contracts protocol. $625 million. Gone. Poof. All this casts doubt on whether secure, complex, smart contracts are even possible on decentralized blockchains, much less whether Vitalik's promise of Ethereum becoming a decentralized world computer is even possible. It's difficult to write an airtight contract, which is why a good lawyer costs $300 to $1,000 or more per hour. It's also why the courts are often bogged down for years in disputes on what contracts actually say and what they mean. Simple contracts do exist on Bitcoin's system, as Satoshi explained in his white paper. Here's what Satoshi wrote. Quote, transactions that are computationally impractical to reverse would protect sellers from fraud, and routine escrow mechanisms could easily be implemented to protect buyers, unquote. But any complex contract needs a human referee to resolve disputes and enforce judgments. So far, algorithmic so-called decentralized finance projects have been an unmitigated disaster on Ethereum. There has not been a single one that has worked. Reason number 13. Ethereum is hosted on central servers. Much of Ethereum is hosted on Infura, which is hosted on Amazon's AWS cloud. So this is two more layers of centralization and vulnerability for Ethereum. Either Amazon or Infura could press a button and much of Ethereum would disappear. If the US government told Amazon to shut down Ethereum, Amazon would just push a button. Poof! Most of Ethereum would be gone. Most of its applications wouldn't work. Amazon did this with WikiLeaks. Just shut it down. WikiLeaks had to find new servers overseas to operate. You might remember when Twitter, Facebook, and the big tech companies deplatformed President Trump. They just wouldn't let him post his opinions anymore. So then President Trump started posting on the Parler social media network because Parler was committed to free speech. But Parler was also hosted on the Amazon cloud. So Amazon just pushed a button and shut down Parler. Apple and Google also deleted the Parler app from their stores. So there was almost no way to access Parler, even after Parler moved to another hosting service. Amazon, Microsoft, and Google Cloud hosting services control 60% of the internet traffic. So Amazon can shut down Ethereum with a push of a button. Ethereum is in the applications business, which requires developers. This requires hosted services with tools for developers. Bitcoin is not housed on any hosted service. Bitcoin is not in the applications business. Bitcoin is a synchronized ledger distributed live to more than 1 million nodes and miners around the world. Bitcoin cannot be shut down by Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Apple, or big tech. China has attempted many attacks on Bitcoin to no effect. In the summer of 2021, China outlawed Bitcoin mining and Bitcoin transactions. So then China's miners moved out of China to more hospitable locations. They moved to Kazakhstan, the United States, and elsewhere. Now it seems China has given up on trying to take down Bitcoin. as Bitcoin mining has started up again in China. Twitter, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, and Microsoft can deplatform the President of the United States, and they can shut down Ethereum with a push of a button. But no one can shut down Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is not located in any one place. It's located on more than 1 million computers distributed around the world. That's the genius of Bitcoin. Reason number 14. There's no obvious need for Ethereum. The reason I own Bitcoin is that it's insurance against financial collapse and against political system collapse. This can happen quickly, as it did in Venezuela. A couple of decades ago, Venezuela was the most prosperous country in Latin America. Today, it's an impoverished hellhole where people struggle to find food, water, toilet paper, and the basic necessities of life. Bitcoin enables me to leave the country quickly if necessary. Bitcoin also works for me as an investment during this adoption phase of this emerging technology. In the event of economic and political system collapse, Bitcoin allows me to quickly carry my wealth anywhere that still has a civilized situation. Ethereum is not solving this problem. It might eventually address some minor problems, but Ethereum addresses no pressing problem that I can see. Reason number 15. Ethereum is not yet a usable product. The problem with Ethereum, from an investor's standpoint, is there's not yet any product. There's only a promise of a product. So far, Ethereum has failed by its own measure, the goal being to create a decentralized internet for decentralized applications that cannot be attacked by government. None of this has happened. None of the applications on the Ethereum platform work on any acceptable level. That's why Ethereum is changing its system from proof of work to proof of stake. If you read Vitalik's white paper on Ethereum, it's vague. There's nothing specific in Vitalik's white paper. And he's issued several editions of his white paper. This is in stark contrast to Satoshi's white paper on Bitcoin, which lays out the protocol with precision. A protocol the fundamentals of which have not changed in 13 years, other than some software upgrades. Reason number 16. Ethereum is not auditable. Proof of stake is really no different from my investment in Tesla. But my Tesla investment is far better and far more secure, because Tesla has to release quarterly financial reports. Tesla is auditable. Tesla is also subject to oversight by the SEC. If Tesla's financial reports are not accurate, Tesla's executives can end up in jail. Ethereum is not auditable. It's not subject to government or any other oversight. Vitalik is accountable to nobody but himself. Furthermore, after this transition to proof of stake, Ethereum will no longer be a single blockchain. It will be 64 separate blockchains, which will make it even less auditable than it was. It wasn't auditable before, but now it will be even less auditable, less transparent. No one even knows how many ETH coins even exist. There are guesses, there are estimates. Now under Ethereum's new system, a new proof-of-stake system with 64 separate blockchains, only a few people will have authority to see what's happening on all 64 blockchains in Ethereum's new system. Reason number 17. Ethereum's addressable market is limited. Today, Bitcoin has about 180 million users. Ethereum has 450,000 users. So there are about 400 Bitcoin users for every one Ethereum user. Why is this? Well, because there's a bigger need for money than there is for software developers. Everyone needs money. Not everyone is a software developer. Ethereum appeals to a small niche of software developers who are interested in decentralized applications, even though there are no applications on Ethereum that are decentralized. And Ethereum itself is not decentralized, and it's hosted on central servers. And being hosted on central servers is actually necessary for applications that work well, because attractive applications need to be speedy, need to have a lot of features, need to provide a good user experience. Can't be like the games CryptoKitties or Axie Infinity. And those are the best games on Ethereum. The addressable market for Bitcoin is everyone on Earth, because everybody wants the best, most incorruptible money. And everyone wants money that can't be seized by the government, or frozen by your bank, or frozen by a court order. That's something people want. Unconfiscatable money. The addressable market for Ethereum is a small niche group of software developers who are interested in building decentralized applications on a decentralized internet, which doesn't appear possible at this point. At least not applications that work on any acceptable level. I'm not looking for applications. I have plenty of applications. I have dozens of applications on my phone. I only use a few of them. I'm looking for Bitcoin to be one thing: honest money. Digital gold that I can send and transport anywhere in the world instantly. If all hell breaks loose here in America, if there's a socialist or communist takeover, I want to be able to get out of the country with some assets quickly. I want to be able to get out of the country with my Bitcoin. I can't carry my house with me or my rental properties. The U.S. government and the communists who take over can grab my stock market holdings or anything that I have on an exchange, but I can carry my Bitcoin. They can't get that, so long as I'm in sole possession of my private keys. I can carry my Bitcoin on my phone. I can carry it by writing down a code on a piece of paper. I can carry it in my head if I can remember a 12-word private key recovery phrase. So the U.S. government can tell Amazon to push a button and take down Ethereum. So that's no good. But there's nothing the U.S. government or the China government or any government can do about Bitcoin, because it's decentralized. It's not hosted anywhere. It's located on more than 1 million computers around the world. There's no single point that you can attack. You'd have to attack all 1 million computers at the same time. Bitcoin's purpose is clear, clean, and simple. Bitcoin is similar to gold in that it's a lifeboat if the U.S. economy implodes into a black hole of debt and we become Venezuela, which can happen quickly, by the way. Bitcoin is insurance. That's what attracts me to Bitcoin. So it operates kind of like gold, but it's much better than gold because you can carry it or send it anywhere instantly. You can't do that with gold. Because Bitcoin is still an emerging technology, Bitcoin is also an investment. It's both insurance and an investment. On its current trajectory of adoption, Bitcoin will have 1 billion users within the next 5 years or so. Ethereum is not yet a product. It's promising to be a product, but it isn't a product yet. And Vitalik keeps changing what the product is, or will be at some point. Because Ethereum has failed by its own measure, it's now trying to transition from a proof-of-work system to a much less secure proof-of-stake system. This is something like trying to rebuild the foundation of a skyscraper without dismantling the skyscraper. Maybe it can be done, but it appears to be a very difficult task to pull off. It's taking many years for Ethereum to make this transition from a proof-of-work system to a proof-of-stake system. No one knows how this is going to pan out. As of now, I see no compelling use case for Ethereum. I see no real purpose for Ethereum. Ethereum is still in the process of trying to figure out its purpose. That's why I have not invested in Ethereum. Don't forget to check out my new book, Bitcoin, A Beginner's Guide, your off-ramp from the corrupt political system and protection from economic collapse. You can find it on Amazon. I link to it below. This book addresses much of the misinformation and FUD on Bitcoin out there. And be sure to hit the like and notification buttons below, as that will really help spread this information far and wide. By hitting the notification button, you'll be alerted to all my future video posts. Plus, don't forget to head on over to bitcoininstitute.net to sign up for my free Bitcoin weekly report. Thanks for listening.